Now, the news from the Voice of America. Kenyan forces rescue hostages at Nairobi Mall. Many worshippers killed in bombings at Pakistan Church. I'm Christopher Cruz reporting live from the VOA News Center in Washington. Kenyan forces have ended a terrorist attack at a shopping mall in the capital, Nairobi. Late Sunday, a military spokesman said most of the hostages trapped in the mall since Saturday by Islamist gunmen had been rescued, and most of the mall is now secure. The military began an assault on the mall after sundown on Sunday. At the time, an unknown number of hostages were being held by the al-Qaeda-linked al-Shabab group based in Somalia. The Kenyan Red Cross says 68 people were killed and at least 175 wounded in the attack. Two suicide bombers attacked a church in northwestern Pakistan Sunday, killing 78 people and wounding 120. Late Sunday, the Pakistani Taliban claimed responsibility for the bombing. It said it would continue to target non-Muslims until the United States stopped drone attacks in the country's remote tribal area. Ayaz Gul reports the explosions happened at the main church in downtown Peshawar as worshippers were leaving after the services to receive free food.
Pakistani police say hundreds of worshippers were coming out of the church building in central Peshawar after the morning service when two suicide bombers struck them one after the other. Eyewitnesses say people were screaming for help while human remains were strewn all over the church. Survivors wailed and searched for their loved ones. This woman told reporters outside the church her cousins, brothers, and nephews were all inside the church when the attack happened, but she could not locate any of them. Rescue workers rushed to the scene to transport victims to the nearby Lady Reading Hospital, where doctors said they were struggling to save lives of a number of those critically wounded. Ayaz Gul for VOA News, Islamabad.
The dead included 7 children, along with women and 2 Muslim police officers who had been posted outside the church as guards. An official at the hospital where the victims were taken says many of the wounded are in critical condition. You are listening to World News from the Voice of America in Washington. Iran's President Hassan Rouhani says his government is ready to negotiate with Western powers on its nuclear program, but only if the negotiations have no preconditions. He spoke Sunday at a military parade. He said what Iranian leaders have long been saying, that its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes only. It is, however, widely believed that Iran is developing a nuclear weapons program. A court in China has sentenced former high-ranking Politburo member Bo Xilai to life in prison. The VOA's Bill Ide reports from Beijing the trial may be less about Bo than it is about sending a signal to corrupt Chinese officials.
The sentencing of Bo Xilai, one of China's biggest political scandals in decades, is being portrayed as a key accomplishment of China's new leaders. President Xi Jinping has pledged to tackle official graft and go after officials no matter how high their rank. Critics, however, say the trial is more about ending Bo's political career. Zhang Ming is a political scientist at Renmin University. Zhang says Bo's opponents wanted to stop his political career and send a message to his supporters that he is corrupt. Bo's rapid political decline began early last year when his chief of police in Chongqing fled to a nearby U.S. consulate with information about Bo's wife's involvement in the murder of a British businessman. At the time, Bo was poised to rise to a high-ranking post. Bill Ide, VOA News, Beijing.
German voters on Sunday were expected to give Chancellor Angela Merkel a third term, leading Europe's strongest economy. Public opinion studies of voters after they cast ballots showed her Christian Democratic Union would get 42% of the vote. If those exit polls are correct, Ms. Merkel will become one of post-war Germany's longest-serving and most influential political leaders. Post-war political leaders, that is. A typhoon hit southeastern China Sunday, causing big disruptions in air travel and shipping. Forecasters said the storm was moving west with winds of 165 kilometers an hour. They said it'll pass about 100 kilometers north of Hong Kong late Sunday and early Monday. Hong Kong's two main airlines canceled flights in and out of the city. That left passengers stranded at one of the world's busiest airports. And that's the world news at this hour from the Voice of America. For more on these and other stories, including weather and sports from around the world around the clock, go to voanews.com. I'm Christopher Cruz, VOA News, Washington.